Hi, I'm Stacey.
And I am Jesse.
Welcome to Bannor Toys.
We started Bannor Toys back in 2011 in our 2-bedroom bungalow.
Tiny house.
We were in Des Moines, Iowa, and we both had day jobs. Stacey ran an in-home daycare, and I worked for a large mortgage company. Mostly she got kind of frustrated with some of the toys that were available on the market. They were breaking a lot.
Stickers peeling off them, batteries running out.
My job carried a little bit of stress. I didn't get to work with my hands a lot. I was kind of stuck. I decided to tinker around in the basement, like like guys do, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Right?
I didn't really have much for tools either.
No.
We had a few of my grandfather's tools, secondhand down in the basement.
Decided to make them Christmas presents one year.
And do you remember what you called my first one?
It looked like a cat toy, you guys. Like the little cat toys with bells inside of them.
It did have bells in them. Well, no one bought it, so I don't know where it went. That was like the start of something, though. I did not think that was my worst first. I found my worst first was the vehicles. I called it a minivan, but it was basically a square of wood with like the front cut off. It was just a square with some wheels on it. And I mean, we didn't have a router or anything.
No, we hand sanded all those edges.
When we very first started our Etsy store, if you got them with sanded edges so that they weren't sharp, because we didn't have and couldn't afford a basic router. When it was time to upgrade, I built a workbench and we bought a couple tools. I think my first new scroll saw purchase was about a $300 scroll saw. We learned to make a few building blocks. I was just buying regular kind of thin, the 3/4 inch boards that you would buy at the home store. And so we had to glue them together and then rip them apart on a table saw, like a $90 table saw. And then Stacey hand painted those very first sets.
Oh, I had to stay up till like 3 a.m. painting. Remember that?
Yeah, because we used to hand paint. For those of you that don't know, because we don't really paint toys now, but our toys used to be painted. And I handmade all the toys that way. And that's how we got started.
That is.
We were in that basement when we went to our very first craft show.
Yes, that small like church bazaar.
It was in Eagle Grove.
Eagle Grove, yeah.
Eagle Grove, Iowa, a really tiny
Maybe
town.
their elementary school or something.
Yeah, I don't know, some sort of metal building of some sort.
I think we sold 4 things.
Yeah, not very many.
Not very many people.
And actually, I think the person that bought them was like the Scentsy dealer next to us that felt bad that we weren't selling anything. I feel really thankful now that we were so naive, because most people would have gone and been like, oh, nobody likes these, and stopped selling stuff.
Right.
And then we would not have a toy company.
But we came back and I was pumped.
We came back and we were like, oh, wait, we could do this better. Like, that didn't work. Like, we should just do this, this, and this instead, and it will work.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because most people don't do that. And honestly, like, I can't think of anything else in my life that I've done that with.
We launched in like October on Etsy. And so
Launch is a strong word, but yeah.
We were there right before the Christmas rush. And I say rush because it really wasn't compared to now. But then you remember in January? In January, we sold $632 worth of stuff on Etsy. And that was the deciding factor for you to quit your job.
When the toys made like $600 a month, and I was like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah,
like,
that was the deciding factor that we could make a living off of.
That was pretty scary,
toys.
because we couldn't at $600 a month.
Oh, our parents thought we were crazy. So I was self-employed. I was doing daycare, and then we were doing the toys.
We got out of that basement. We were still in the 2-bedroom bungalow, but there was a 2-car garage on that property. So we moved the shop into there, and I started making toys there. I still drilled every hole by hand and cut every toy out on a scroll saw, but that's what we did. We were in that garage building there for
A couple years.
a while, yeah. And we did some cool things in that house. I mean, we went from having no idea what we were doing, just doing it as a hobby, to learning how to build a business. Things like safety regulations, things like how to properly build a toy, right? Things about like actual woodworking, and more than just using the tools properly, but like what is a quality tool, right? And things like that. I didn't learn so much about manufacturing and batch processing and things like that, like how to get these things done so efficiently, because we didn't have the orders to kind of justify that sort of thing yet. So that came more once we moved to a bigger shop. And then here, back then and for a long time, we made every order to order
as it was
purchased. Not very efficient, but it's what we had the money to do. We couldn't make a bunch of stuff at one time. Every single day, Stacey would wake up, and as the kids arrived to our house with the daycare, she would be on the computer writing down the toys that were ordered, make me a list. I would take them out to the shop and get started cutting them out and making them all one at a time.
And I would work on shipping orders and printing packing slips and stuff while the kids were napping.
Yep.
And then
again in the evening.
they'd all go home, and I'd work after dinner until bedtime.
Yep. It was fun though. I mean, like, we learned so much.
The prospect of us failing, like, wasn't even a consideration. Like, we weren't gonna go back to corporate America.
Well, and also, like, we didn't know we were succeeding because we weren't creating a company. We were just creating a job for ourselves, right? I mean, remember, we were only making $600 a month for the toys. I mean, she was running a daycare. We were still paying the bills. But I mean, like...
But out of that $600...
We were just trying to make money. You know, we're just trying to create our jobs again and make great toys and try and learning how to do what we were doing. Right. We didn't kind of understand and learn about how cool it would be to connect with the customers that we were creating the toys for, and this atmosphere and this culture that we've kind of hopefully created and foster until now. I mean, until these years later. I mean, not literally now, but until down the road a ways, and that has been really cool.
That's a huge benefit to this business.
It is, but we kind of did it on accident. Like, we didn't set out to do it. It just is something that has been really cool to do.
Yeah, I've met a lot of really neat people and customers of ours just in some of the traveling we've done to shows and whatnot. It's neat to form those real life friendships with people and know that you're impacting their kids and stuff. So.
Yeah. That is kind of the longish, shortish part of like how we started in a 2-bedroom bungalow. Yeah. And that's how we used to make toys completely by hand.
Yeah.